Hi everyone. In this slide, you are learning about one of the important group of mononeurons, that is archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are a group of most primitive prokaryotes, which are believed to have evolved immediately after the evolution of the first life. Archaebacteria are characterized by absence of peptidoglycan in their wall. Instead, the wall contains protein and non-cellulosic polysaccharides. Because of this reason, they are tolerant to extreme heat, cold, and pH. Archaebacteria are also known as living fossils because they represent one of the earliest forms of life which experimented on the absorption of solar radiations for the first time, lived comfortably under anaerobic conditions, and developed techniques to oxidize the chemicals present in the substratum on the availability of oxygen. When you come across with some uses, you can see archaebacteria are employed in the production of gobar gas from dung and sewage. In ruminants, means cattle, they cause fermentation of cellulose. When you come across with the types of archaebacteria, there are of three major types. First one is methanogens, then halophiles, and thermoacidophiles. Methanogens. What are they? The archaebacteria are strict anaerobes. Nutritionally, they are autotrophs, which obtain both energy and carbon from decomposition products. They occur in marshy areas where they convert formic acid and carbon dioxide into methane with the help of hydrogen. This capability is commercially exploited in the production of methane and fuel gas inside gobar gas plants. Methanobacterium and Methanococcus are the best examples of methanogens. Some of the methanogen archaebacteria live as symbionts, means Methanobacterium live as symbionts inside rumen or first chamber in the stomach of herbivorous animals that chew their cud. These archaebacteria are helpful to the ruminants in fermentation of cellulose. Second type is halophiles. These are named so because they usually occur in salt-rich substrata like salt pans, salt beds, and salt marshes. Halobacterium and Halococcus are the best examples of halophiles. They are aerobic and chemoheterotrophs. Their cell membranes have red carotenoid pigment for protection against harmful solar radiations. Under anaerobic conditions, halophiles cannot use external materials. At this time, they subsist on ATP synthesized by membrane pigment system from solar radiations. Halophiles are able to live under high salt conditions due to four reasons: presence of special lipids in the cell membrane, occurrence of mucilage covering, absence of sap vacuoles, and hence plasmolysis, high internal salt content. Third group is thermoacidophiles. These archaebacteria have dual ability to tolerate high temperature as well as high acidity. They often live in hot sulfur springs where the temperature may be as high as 80 degrees Celsius and pH as low as 2. Example: thermoplasma and thermophorus. Proteus. Basically, these archaebacteria are chemosynthetic. That is, they obtain energy for synthesis of food from oxidizing sulfur. Under aerobic conditions, they usually oxidize sulfur to sulfuric acid. If the conditions are anaerobic, the thermoacidophiles may reduce sulfur to hydrogen sulfide. Bicarbonates are also precipitated into the carbonate form by their activity. Thermoacidophiles are able to tolerate high temperature as well as high acidity due to two reasons. First one is branched chain lipids in the cell membranes. Second one is presence of special resistance enzymes capable of operating under acidic conditions. Special resistant enzymes. In this images, you can see some important places where these archaebacteria, which are small, ancient, and primitive forms, are living, like thermoacidophiles, means in hot springs, methanogens, means sewages, or you may call marshy places, and in the Great Salt Lake, means extreme halophiles. Likewise, you are learning about harsh conditions bacteria. They are nothing but archaebacteria. Thank you.